If you work in corporate, I hate to break it to you, but they don't care about you. I was laid off 2 days after I was given a $10,000 raise. And also, I was working on this big project that we were soon to be launching. And also, I was close with my boss. He told me, your job is safe. Nothing's going to happen to you. And it did. No matter what they tell you, no matter the amount of money they give you, they can let you go at any time. And it is a terrible thing that they can do that. I could never do that to somebody. Don't get me started on the friendships at work. Your friendships, people that I thought I was so close with, people that I've traveled with, people that I thought were some of my best friends, haven't even called to reach out, nothing. So don't put your blood, sweat, and tears into a company, into people that just aren't going to care. They don't care.
Your job as an employee of a company is to trade your time for resources in order to make sure that you can feed your family. Now, everything else that happens after that is extra, meaning that if you make some friends or you friendly, and yes, it is important for you to be a cultural fit, that's awesome. But to then say that corporate doesn't care about you, who is corporate? Is it these boogeymen that's behind the table? Is it a bunch of people that's pulling the strings and stuff like that? Who is these corporate entities that is supposed to care so much about you and your family and all of that? And when she says, I could never do that, that just tells me that you're not built to make strong decisions because corporate America is beholden to the shareholders. And at any point, right, because a lot of times we put our identity in what we do for a living, we start to act like that they're supposed to care for us, like we supposed to be there for the next 30 to 40 years. I don't know anybody that's worked in corporate that has not been laid off, that has not job switched. And I don't look at them, right? I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna make sure that I take care of business, and I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do and what it is that I'm getting paid for. I'm gonna over deliver, and then hopefully, I can get my paycheck on time, which I've always gotten my paycheck on time. But if I decide to leave and I can go over to another job for a courtesy, I can give them 2 weeks notice, and then they got to go and find somebody else. I'm off to the races. You know what I'm saying? And they still got to pay me for the next 2 weeks that I'm there. So it's no love lost. I don't look at corporate America, especially at the times that I started to really, really dive in, because at any point I could have been let go. I don't look at corporate America as my friend. I never have. I never will. And you enjoy the time that you're there, but you don't necessarily put a lot of stock in it. These people that are putting so much stock, that's putting so much emotional things into it. Oh my God, my friends never called me that was there. They got families, they got things that they worried about, they got things that they got to take care of. What you want them to do? You want them to hold your hand? You want them to make you feel good about the situation that's going on? No, people got to take care of business.
The hardest thing about getting laid off. It wasn't just the loss of salary. It's the fucking. It just destroys your self worth, your self esteem, your confidence. And you think there's something wrong with you or you're broken, but there's nothing wrong with you, right? It's like it took 3 weeks for it to sink in that I was laid off because I'd
Mm.
never been laid off before. It was surreal. It's like when if you ever witness a bad car crash, you're like, holy shit, did that just happen?
Why is the shirt so wet?
It's like that. I took a week and did fuck all, And if I could share some advice I learned with you, just if you're going through something like that, take a week, a few days, whatever you can, and just do whatever you want to do, right?
Mm, I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily bad advice. I think that the thing that you should do is, first of all, not take it so personal. For guys, it is a lot more personal because, you're talking about your ability to be able to feed your family, and then you going on whatever it is that they give you, unemployment. And unemployment, I don't even really think that that's really moved much since I had to get unemployment back in 2007, 2008. I'm not even sure that I got unemployment back then. So long ago. What was that, over 20 years ago? I don't know. But the point is that I don't know what that means by go and do what you're going to do. No, you got to start making adjustments, big dog. And so what making adjustments mean is I don't want to spend a lot of money. I want to make sure that I'm not going on vacation. That's a luxury for people that have a lot of resources. Going and just doing whatever it is that you want to do when you want to do it, that is a luxury for people that have a lot of resources and for people that don't need it. That's a luxury for single baby mamas or women that are trad wives or chicks that just want to go from, work from home nowadays. That's not for people that, can really have that luxury to be able to do that. So if you're able to chill, if you're able to relax, if you're able to start having those type of options, cool. My advice to people is to not wait too long before they start getting into the mix. Update your LinkedIn, start to work on your resume, make sure you updating your skills, and then you got to start making your job looking for a job. As a matter of fact, I'm of the ilk that I don't think that you should ever stop looking and paying attention to what's happening out there, because you should be job hopping and looking for better opportunities and seeing the writing on the wall and making adjustments a long time ago. I would always have an iron in the fire. I would always have a second job or a second position that I'm working on. I would always have a side hustle. I think that another thing that people do wrong a lot of times is that they've been putting all their eggs in one basket. And if one thing that I've been shown and know is that you never, under any circumstance, put all of your eggs in one basket. You make sure you diversify your income, and that way you're not dependent on one thing in order to survive. I know somebody that had two jobs for the longest, and then they recently just lost their second job, not their core job, but their second job, and they never actually spent any money from their second job. They just stack that, and so they're not dependent on it, and then they now looking for a second job, and that way they're not focused on, or they're not impacted by what's going on. They just got a temporary lull in the amount of money that they're able to stack and put up. And then you a lot of us, we also increase our lifestyles to whatever it is that we think is happening in the economy. So yeah, but for men, it is a bigger deal because a lot of our identity is tied up in our ability to provide.
Sometimes we need that. And then get back into your routine. And the other thing I did that really helped is physical fitness, being physically active. Because the better your physical health, the stronger your mental health. And that'll help you weather some of the shit life throws at us. But
Yes,
if you're going through
why
some of that
shirt
shit,
is
if
so
you need
wet.
advice or you just need an ear, send me a DM, man.
I was on the phone with my dad yesterday and he was like, how are you? How are your friends? Like, how is everybody? Is everyone freaking out about work, layoffs, the economy? And I was like, yeah, no. And he was like, no. And he was like, things are really bad. Like, they're going to get worse. And I was like, I know. What do we do? And he was like, well, yeah, I mean, it just, like, as long as you guys know. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, like, my generation is fully aware, as, like, my company literally just did, like, our 8th round of layoffs in 2 years this morning. Like, I'm pretty sure we're all fully aware of just how bad things are and how bad things have gotten. Like, literally this year alone, this is my company's, like, 4th round of layoffs. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious, like, how bad things are getting in the American economy. No surprise. And yeah, my dad's like, so you guys, like, how's everyone feeling? Is everybody freaking out? And I'm like, I feel like my generation is past the point of freaking out because we've lived through so much shit that we're just like, what are we supposed to do? We literally, like, can't stop our companies from laying people off. We do our best to get into other markets, but, like, every single industry is dying right now. Like, I work in public health. The Trump administration's cut mostly all of our funding for all of our programs this year, hence all the layoffs. I have friends who work in, like, housing commission and try to help homeless people. They have had insane mass layoffs. They're asking for people to literally, like, voluntarily furlough right now. I have friends who work in the UC school system that have gone through layoffs. I have friends who work in big tech, AI, Google, NVIDIA, Microsoft, who have been laid off. So, like, there's literally not a single industry right now that's not being affected. And it's like, what can we...
No way that she has some. No way. Hold on. Stop. I call cap. And I think that a lot of times people try to embellish to try to make it seem like it's worse than what it really is. But I call cap. If she has friends that work in AI for major tech companies, I know for a fact that those are some of the most coveted positions and that they're actually hiring at big firms, smaller firms, AI. They are throwing a bag at those type of people. So if you're telling me that people are being laid off that is a part of the AI teams of these large tech companies, I know that she embellishing. Now the rest of them jobs, she talking about public services and basically government services and the public sector and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a reckoning within those because a lot of those never really added value and a lot of that stuff was just being funded by the federal government. But if you're telling me that big tech is laying off AI, machine learning, and all of those type of people, bullshit. I call bullshit all day.
Do. Like, I don't know. Someone want to let me know what we can do? Like, my idea was like not electing this administration to make things worse, but that's already out the window. So, like, at this point, what do we do?
So let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. I always like to give credit to the content creators, regardless of whether I agree or not. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We'll see. I'm gonna keep y'all in the loop.